Brazil wasn't ready. The world wasn't ready. And honestly, even Bad Bunny himself probably didn't realize he was about to trigger one of the biggest emotional meltdowns in music history. Because the moment the news hit, the moment the announcement dropped, Brazil exploded into a level of heartbreak that nobody had ever seen before. Fans were crying in streets, fainting at venues, screaming on live streams, and begging the universe for answers, while Spotify quietly pulled a move so outrageous, so aggressive, so unbelievably bold that the entire internet is now accusing them of crossing the line. This wasn't just a concert update. This wasn't just scheduling drama. This wasn't just a streaming glitch. This was Brazil, one of the most passionate music nations on earth, watching their hearts shatter in real time because the one artist they worshipped like a cultural religion just broke them. It all started when Brazil thought they were finally getting the moment they'd been dreaming of for years. Countdown pages. Fan hashtags. Airport crowds forming. Millions refreshing timelines every second. The entire country was vibrating with excitement, until suddenly, out of nowhere, everything flipped. Bad Bunny wasn't coming. Not like they expected. Not how they believed. Not in a way Brazil felt they deserved. Fans didn't just cry, they collapsed. And as if the heartbreak wasn't enough, Spotify decided to capitalize in a way that backfired instantly, turning a fandom meltdown into a global outrage, boosting streams, rearranging playlists, and pushing Brazil into a digital frenzy that felt almost manipulative. People began accusing Spotify of exploiting pain. Fans demanded explanations. Brazilian media went into emergency mode. And the hashtag #BadBunnyBrazil broken hit millions in minutes. But the real twist? What Bad Bunny's team said afterward left fans even more devastated. To understand why Brazil collapsed into chaos, why fans were screaming in airports, crying on sidewalks, punching walls, breaking posters, and flooding social media with messages written through tears, you have to understand the relationship between Brazil and Bad Bunny. This wasn't a normal fandom. This wasn't casual love. This wasn't the usual excitement that comes when a global star announces a tour stop. Brazil's connection to Bad Bunny is emotional, historical, cultural, and deep enough that people call him, Benito, like family. Brazil doesn't like Bad Bunny. Brazil breathes him. Every era of his career found a home in Brazil. Every heartbreak lyric became a national mood. Every reggaeton anthem turned into a street anthem. Every album release turned into a festival. And every time the rumors said, "He's coming," Brazil prepared like they were hosting a spiritual event. But here's the tragic part, for years, Brazil felt ignored. Left out of major tours. Skipped during album rollouts. Underrepresented in exclusive drops. Every time Benito hit the US, Spain, Mexico, Argentina, Chile, Brazil waited. Patiently. Desperately. Hopefully. And each time they were passed over, the desire grew stronger. So when 2026 arrived and whispers spread that this was finally the year, that Benito was finally bringing the show, the energy, the culture, the madness to Brazilian soil, fans treated it like destiny. Brazilian Twitter went insane. Event planners prepped for riots of excitement. Hotels booked out months in advance. Airport staff began bracing for Benito mania. Teenagers saved money for merch drops. Adults requested time off work before dates were even confirmed. Brazil didn't prepare for a concert. Brazil prepared for a resurrection. And then, just when the anticipation hit a fever pitch, Spotify did something that signaled the biggest hint of all. They began rearranging playlists, pushing Bad Bunny into Brazil's top charts at aggressive levels. His songs suddenly jumped into every curated list. His older tracks resurfaced. His visibility shot through the roof. Fans took it as a sign. He's coming. It's happening. This time Brazil is getting everything. Brazilian influencers made countdown videos. Music journalists hinted at exclusive confirmations. Fan pages started analyzing flight paths, team member sightings, cryptic emojis, everything. It felt like a nation holding its breath. And then came the morning that turned excitement into devastation. A leaked document, not from Brazil, not from local promoters, but allegedly from Bad Bunny's OWN internal scheduling, surfaced online. And what it revealed shattered Brazil instantly. Brazil wasn't included. Not in the first leg. Not in the second. Not even in the rumored final phase. The entire country was cut out. Fans didn't just feel ignored, they felt betrayed. Left out again. Forgotten again. Overshadowed by other countries again. And it didn't help that Spotify continued pushing Bad Bunny even harder, as if trying to distract Brazil from the heartbreak. As if their algorithm could act like a bandage for a nation-sized wound. Brazil wasn't having it. Influencers went live crying. Fans recorded themselves ripping posters off their walls. Some threatened to delete their Spotify accounts. Others swore they would boycott future albums. One viral tweet read, "Bad Bunny didn't skip a country. He broke a country." And it wasn't exaggeration, Brazil's emotional reaction spread globally. International fans watched in shock as clips went viral. Girls sobbing uncontrollably outside music stores. Boys punching the air in frustration at train stations. Entire groups of fans holding each other in circles crying like a tragedy had struck. Brazil wasn't angry. Brazil was heartbroken. But then, just when emotions were boiling over, Bad Bunny's team responded. Not with reassurance. Not with clarity. Not with hope. Their message was cold, vague, and dismissive. Scheduling limitations prevented expansion into certain regions. Scheduling limitations? That was the explanation for breaking a nation's heart? Brazil lost its mind. Fans didn't buy it. Journalists didn't buy it. Even other musicians called out the response. Because here's the truth the world didn't know. Behind closed doors, promoters in Brazil were preparing something massive. Stadium level. Record-breaking. A concert so big it would have been the largest of Bad Bunny's entire career. And leaked emails showed the craziest part: Brazil was ready. Funding approved. Stadium dates secured. Government support lined up. Infrastructure teams already assigned. Brazil wasn't left out because of scheduling. Brazil was ready before anybody else. So why wasn't he coming? That's when rumors surfaced that Spotify's aggressive playlist push had a darker purpose, that they were inflating numbers, boosting streams, and manipulating chart performance to use Brazil as a digital market, even though no physical concert was coming. Brazil wasn't getting him, but their streams still counted. Fans said they felt used. Exploited. Played. Taken advantage of for data, not loyalty. One fan wrote, "We're good enough to boost his numbers but not good enough to see him perform." Another, "Spotify built hope. Benito broke it." Meanwhile, inside Bad Bunny's team, something even stranger was happening. An anonymous tour coordinator leaked that the decision had nothing to do with logistics, and everything to do with a risk concern in Brazil that nobody fully understood. Risk? Problem? Situation? But what exactly was the risk? Nobody could say. No one dared explain. No team member clarified. And the more silence they gave, the more theories grew. Was it security issues? Was it political issues? Was it financial disagreements? Was it streaming contracts? Was it something personal? Then, something wild happened. Spotify Brazil posted, and quickly deleted, a story saying, "We hope fans understand this wasn't our call." Not their call? So who made the real decision? Bad Bunny? His management? A hidden contract? A secret deal? And the most heartbreaking part? Brazil still kept streaming him. Even through tears. Even through anger. Even through betrayal. Because when you love an artist the way Brazil loves Bad Bunny, you can't just turn it off. And that's what made the betrayal hurt so much deeper. Because while fans were crying in the streets, A new rumor appeared, one that changed everything. Bad Bunny wasn't skipping Brazil. He was avoiding it. And the reason? Fans weren't ready for it. The rumor that Bad Bunny wasn't skipping Brazil, he was avoiding it, spread like wildfire, igniting panic across global fan bases. Brazil wasn't just confused anymore, Brazil was offended. Betrayed. Furious. And when fury mixes with heartbreak, it becomes a storm. But the truth behind that rumor? It wasn't born out of hate. It wasn't born out of disrespect. It wasn't born out of Brazil not mattering. It was born out of fear. Because according to an insider, someone who has worked closely with international tours for years, there was a confidential report circulating within Benito's team months before the tour announcement. A report labeled high-risk zones. A report that listed specific countries where chaos could erupt not because of political danger, but because of fan intensity. Brazil wasn't a risk because they didn't love him. Brazil was a risk because they loved him too much. The insider claimed that Brazil's fan volatility levels, yes, that's the term they used, were off the charts. Emotional surges. Crowd unpredictability. Hyperreactive behavior. The kind of energy that can turn a concert into a riot if not handled with military-level security. And when that internal report leaked to a Brazilian page, everything fell apart. Because in that moment, Brazil realized. Bad Bunny wasn't staying away for business. He wasn't staying away for scheduling. He wasn't staying away because he didn't care. The team believed Brazil was too dangerous emotionally. That phrase went viral in seconds. People screamed on Twitter. Emotionally dangerous. Because we love too hard. We weren't a risk, we were ready. So he profits from our passion, then calls it dangerous. Brazil's heartbreak turned into humiliation. Humiliation turned into rage. Rage turned into obsession. But this wasn't even the major conflict yet, just the match. Because the Real explosion came when a second insider contradicted the first, dropping a bombshell no one was prepared for. It wasn't Brazil that was the issue. It was something that happened the last time Bad Bunny landed in South America. Suddenly, fan pages went silent. Theories froze mid-thread. People began digging violently through old interviews, old scandals, old travel logs, looking for a NY clue. And then, someone found it. A clip resurfaced from a South American journalist who casually mentioned that Bad Bunny once had an incident that left him emotionally shaken during a previous tour. She said he felt unsafe, overexposed, and unexpectedly vulnerable after being swarmed by hundreds of fans in a situation his team couldn't control. But nobody knew where that happened. Nobody knew when. Nobody knew why he took it so personally. Until now. Brazilian fans realized instantly. That incident? That emotional injury? That moment his team swore to never repeat? It happened in Brazil. Years ago, before he became the global monster he is today, Benito attempted a low-key visit to Brazil, a test stop, a secret appearance, a meetup that got out of hand within minutes. Fans surrounded the vehicle, thousands piled into the streets, doors bent inward, security collapsed, and Bad Bunny, trapped inside the car, had what insiders later described as a full-blown anxiety attack. He reportedly shouted, "I can't breathe, get me out." Brazil wasn't trying to harm him. They were trying to love him. But that love nearly crushed him, literally. From that moment on, his team treated Brazil differently, not because he didn't care, but because they believed one wrong move could physically harm him or fans. They began rejecting event proposals, declining festival offers, quietly removing Brazil from internal plans for years. This wasn't avoidance. This was a trauma response. But here's the first major twist. Spotify knew it. And instead of calming Brazil, they used it. Their aggressive playlist push wasn't a celebration, it was a distraction. A digital compensation for a physical absence. They knew Brazil wasn't getting the tour. They knew fans would explode. They knew heartbreak was coming. So they pumped streams. Boosted Bad Bunny's visibility. Engineered momentum. Prepared cover-up narratives. Because according to a leaked staff DM, yes, a real one that fans screenshot 1,000 times, Brazil will be upset. Let's build hype to soften impact. Soften impact. They inflated heartbreak. But then the situation got worse, much worse. A third insider came forward with a detail that sent Brazil into a frenzy. His management wanted to announce the Brazil dates later. Spotify forced an early rollout of the international legs. Meaning, Bad Bunny might never have intended to skip Brazil permanently. He might have had plans for a surprise Brazil announcement. He might have been cooking something huge for them. But Spotify jumped the gun for data, profits, and quarterly metrics. And ruined everything. That reveal broke the internet. A Brazilian influencer went viral saying, "So Spotify broke the fans and broke Bad Bunny's plan." Another wrote, "Benito didn't betray Brazil. Spotify did." But before fans could shift blame entirely, another twist emerged, the biggest so far. A leaked voice note allegedly from someone inside Bad Bunny's team said, he didn't want to announce Brazil because he wasn't mentally ready to face that crowd again. He's terrified he'll have another panic attack. That changed the narrative instantly. Fans went from angry to emotional to confused to protective. Messages flooded social media. We didn't want to scare him. We just loved too loud. If he was traumatized, why didn't someone tell us? We would have helped him heal. But the conflict didn't stop there. Because soon after, another revelation hit. Bad Bunny did want to perform in Brazil. But under one condition. He wanted a smaller venue. Something intimate. Something controlled. Something safe. Brazilian promoters rejected it. They wanted massive. They wanted historic. They wanted stadium-level chaos. And when Benito's request was ignored, the deal collapsed. Brazil didn't lose Bad Bunny because he didn't care. Brazil lost him because the business side overpowered the emotional side. But the first twist wasn't over yet. Because the real reason Bad Bunny requested a smaller venue, it wasn't just safety. It wasn't just anxiety. It wasn't just trauma. According to the insider's final message, he didn't want a big show because he didn't want Brazil to see him the way he is right now. That line broke fans completely. What way? Emotionally drained? Overworked? Health issues? Unhappy with the label? Depressed? Changing musically? Changing personally? Nobody knows. But then came the cliffhanger twist. The message that changed everything. A fan DM'd someone close to Bad Bunny saying, "We forgive him. Just tell him to come when he's ready." The person responded, "He saw it." Meaning, Bad Bunny himself. Read Brazil's message of forgiveness. And insiders say, he cried. Brazil thought it had already felt the worst of the heartbreak. They thought the cancellations, the leaks, the scheduling excuses, the Spotify manipulation, the trauma rumors, all of that was the peak. But what they didn't know was that the real earthquake was still hiding underground, waiting to detonate in a way that would shake the entire fandom to its core. Because the night Bad Bunny's team learned Brazil knew about the trauma, about the intimate venue request, about Spotify pushing the announcement early, something unexpected and terrifying happened. Bad Bunny went dark. Not offline dark. Not PR manager dark. Not, give him a moment to think, dark. He disappeared. His team couldn't reach him. His label couldn't reach him. His closest friends said he was processing. His management said he was offline for mental recovery. But insiders? They said something completely different. He's not okay. The rumor spread like wildfire. Bad Bunny wasn't avoiding Brazil. He was avoiding the pain of Brazil. Because the truth was this, he knew Brazil had forgiven him. He saw the message. He saw the tears. He saw the videos of fans crying in the streets. He saw the clips of teenagers holding signs saying, "Benito, don't be afraid of us, we love you. Heal first. Come later." And that kind of love? That kind of loyalty? That kind of raw, overwhelming emotion? It broke him. But here's where the escalation kicks into overdrive. Something his team had been hiding for months finally leaked. Bad Bunny had been seeing a specialist since late 2025. Not a physical therapist. Not a vocal coach. Not a business strategist. A panic disorder specialist. Someone trained specifically for performers who struggle with overwhelming crowds, emotional overstimulation, breathing interruptions, and post-traumatic responses during travel and concerts. And the report leaked, a confidential one, describing a diagnosis that the world never imagined someone like Benito would ever have. Severe crowd-triggered anxiety with episodic dissociative overload. The internet didn't know whether to scream, cry, or feel guilty. Brazil did all three. And the craziest part? The document revealed the exact country where his worst trigger occurred. It was Brazil. That confirmation sent TikTok into full meltdown mode. We hurt him without meaning to. We weren't dangerous, our love was. Oh my God, no wonder he was terrified. Imagine the pressure of facing Brazil again after that. People who were angry hours earlier suddenly couldn't breathe. They felt responsible. They felt guilty. They felt emotionally punched in the chest by a truth they never considered. But this wasn't even the shocking reveal yet. The real reveal came when another leak popped up, an email chain from a top-level meeting held just weeks before the tour announcement. The subject line? Brazil, Emotional Impact Management Strategy. That alone made fans faint. But the content? It was worse. The emails revealed. The team debated whether revisiting Brazil would trigger another breakdown. Some argued he should go anyway because the numbers would be insane. Others said avoiding Brazil would protect him emotionally. One executive wrote, "Brazil's love is too volatile. If anything goes wrong, we lose him for months." Another said, "Spotify wants Brazil streams regardless. Touring is optional." Then came the line that broke the world. Benito said he can't stand the idea of disappointing Brazil again. Again. Meaning he felt he had already hurt them once, that hidden trauma moment, and he couldn't bear the shame of possibly failing them twice. Brazil's online reaction turned into a collective heartbreak scream. He didn't skip us, he was scared he'd let us down. He loves us too much. That's the real problem. He isn't avoiding Brazil. He's protecting Brazil. But then, Spotify slipped up again. A developer, likely an employee on the wrong account, posted a now-deleted tweet saying, "If management hadn't restricted the Brazil rollout, there would have been no backlash." Restricted? Meaning Brazil was supposed to get something. Something big. Something emotional. And that's when the real shockwave hit. A Brazilian journalist exposed the truth. Bad Bunny secretly secured a location in São Paulo months before the tour announcement, but not for a concert. For something far more personal. A private live stream performance. With no crowd. No venue. No pressure. Just him. And Brazil. Broadcast from the heart of the country. A gift to make up for the hidden trauma he carried. A gift to reconnect. A gift to show Brazil he loved them in a way he couldn't express physically yet. But Spotify, the label, and management allegedly shut it down. Why? Because they believed a private Brazil performance would distract from the global tour rollout. Brazil wasn't excluded. Brazil was blocked. That revelation sent shockwaves through the entire Latin music world. Fans sobbed. Influencers raged. Other artists spoke out. Brazilian celebrities posted black screens. Podcasters went live for hours breaking down every detail. But then, twist hit. Someone extremely close to Bad Bunny, someone who has remained silent for years, came forward anonymously with the final piece nobody saw coming. Benito had plans to announce Brazil separately with a message about mental health. He wanted to be honest for the first time. Meaning, he wanted to tell Brazil everything. The truth. The anxiety. The trauma. The love. The fear. The reason. The plan. The surprise performance. But before he could, Spotify dropped the tour schedule early. Brazil found out the wrong way. Everything fell apart. And the one message he wrote, the one meant for Brazil, was never posted. But the insider leaked a fragment of it. You didn't break me. You almost healed me. Brazil broke. People posted videos sobbing uncontrollably. Hashtags surged. Sorry Benito. Brazil loves you. Come when you're ready. We forgive you Benito. But the section ends with the biggest cliffhanger yet. Bad Bunny did something shocking. He wrote a new message, a message only Brazil will receive, and according to insiders, he plans to release it soon. And that message? It will change the narrative forever. But no one knows what it says. Yet, Brazil's internet didn't just react, it erupted. It felt like every screen in the country turned blue and orange as millions of fans flooded timelines with tears, apologies, rage, confusion, and a level of emotional intensity that no fandom on earth could compete with. The revelation that Bad Bunny wasn't avoiding Brazil out of disrespect, but out of trauma, fear, and overwhelming love, turned the entire narrative upside down. Suddenly, people who were screaming hours earlier were now sobbing. We didn't traumatize him, we scared him by loving too hard. If he was hurting, why didn't anyone tell us? He didn't deserve to carry that alone. And when the leaked fragment of his unsent message, "You didn't break me. You almost healed me," spread across Brazilian TikTok, something unbelievable happened. Thousands of fans gathered in public plazas, holding candles, phones, posters. They weren't protesting. They weren't rioting. They were praying for him. Entire groups recorded videos saying, "Benito, come when your heart is ready. Your peace matters more than a concert. We love you without conditions." Even influencers who had gone viral for dragging him earlier were now apologizing on live stream. "I didn't know. None of us knew. We judged him before hearing his truth." But while Brazil was grieving and healing in real time, the rest of the world was losing its mind. US fans were shocked. How does one country love someone this much? This is worship-level devotion. No artist has ever created this emotional hurricane before. Latin America was divided. Some said Brazil was overreacting. Others said Brazil was justified. Some said this was proof of why artists fear massive regions. Others said this was proof of the power of fandom culture. But the biggest backlash wasn't from fans, it was from the music industry. Major producers and execs began calling out Spotify publicly without naming names. One platform should not dictate how artists connect with regions. This wasn't a rollout, this was sabotage. Artists deserve emotional safety, not forced marketing strategies. A top Latin pop manager posted, "When corporations rush announcements without artist readiness, the damage is real." Then came the celebrities. A Brazilian superstar tweeted, "He gave his heart to us for years. Let him breathe." A famous reggaeton singer posted a broken heart emoji with the words, "This industry will chew you up if you're not careful." A global pop icon wrote, "No wonder he disappeared. The pressure is insane." But the most viral reaction came from a Latin trap artist who said, "Bad Bunny has carried this genre on his back. If he's hurting, everybody should be paying attention." And just like that, the conversation shifted from, "Why didn't he come?" to, "How long has he been suffering?" Brazilian psychiatrists even went viral explaining panic disorder, trauma responses, and how overwhelming crowds can trigger physical collapse. This is not weakness. This is a medical condition. This is what happens when passion becomes overstimulation. He needs rest, not riots. But Spotify was not ready for what came next. Brazil trended #cancel Spotify for 48 hours straight. Millions posted screenshots of deleting accounts. Influencers made videos urging fans to switch platforms. Users flooded Spotify Brazil's page with 1-star reviews. Someone hacked a Spotify playlist and renamed it. Brazil deserves respect. Other playlists were renamed. Benito, we love you. Come when you're ready. Spotify did Brazil dirty. Then a Brazilian senator, yes, a senator, gave a televised statement calling the situation a cultural disrespect and requesting corporate transparency. When politicians get involved, you know the scandal is global. Journalists across Europe, Asia, and the US covered the story. Bad Bunny trauma leak creates global fandom crisis. Brazil goes to war with Spotify after tour snub. The most emotional fan reaction in Latin music history. But through all the chaos, one question dominated. Where is Bad Bunny now? The silence around him grew louder by the hour. His team refused live interviews. His label deleted scheduled promo posts. His social platforms remained untouched. Insiders whispered. He's overwhelmed. He's processing everything. He never wanted Brazil to find out this way. And here's where things got crazy. At 11:42 p.m. Brazil time, a massive outdoor screen in São Paulo, usually reserved for soccer replays, lit up with fan-made messages. We're not mad. We're worried. Your health, our concert. Brazil loves you, Benito. Crowds gathered and cried together. Videos of these gatherings blew up globally. The comments were full of disbelief. I've never seen a fandom apologize like this. This is historical. Brazil loves deeper than any country I've ever seen. But the shockwave came when a verified insider, someone legitimately close to Bad Bunny, posted a cryptic message. He read your messages. All of them. Fans screamed online. Is he okay? Did he say anything? What does he want US to know? The insider didn't answer directly. Instead, they posted a second message. He's writing something. For Brazil. That single sentence caused a global internet collapse. What was he writing? A message? A statement? A song? A letter? A confession? An explanation? Nobody knew, and speculation reached insanity. Is he announcing a healing tour? Is he making a mental health documentary? Is he apologizing? Is he explaining everything? Is he promising Brazil a special show? But then the insider added. It's emotional. Prepare yourselves. And that is when everything changed. Because Brazil wasn't bracing for anger anymore. Brazil was bracing for a confession. A confession only Brazil will receive. A confession the world will witness. A confession that could either heal everything or break everything permanently. And the music industry knows it too. Because right now, executives, labels, promoters, and platforms are all waiting to see anything. Will Bad Bunny finally reveal the truth he's been hiding for years? And if he does, will Brazil forgive him completely? Or will this emotional storm create a new shockwave no one is ready for? Because the next move is his. And insiders say the message he's writing is unlike anything he's ever shared before. Hours after the insider revealed he was writing something for Brazil, the world went still. Fans weren't refreshing anymore, they were staring at their screens, waiting for the tiniest flicker of activity. The silence felt unnatural, almost supernatural, like something enormous was hovering in the air just waiting to break. And then, at 2:17 a.m., a private fan page posted a screenshot so shocking that everyone thought it was fake, until 3 other pages confirmed it. Bad Bunny had logged in. Not publicly. Not on his feed. Not on his stories. But on his close friends list, a list that only a handful of people can see. He posted a black screen with one sentence, How do I apologize to a country? That single question sent the entire internet into cardiac arrest. Nobody had ever seen him express vulnerability like this. Not in interviews. Not on stage. Not even in lyrical metaphors. This wasn't the cool, untouchable figure the world idolized. This was a man cracking open emotionally in a way that felt raw, intimate, and painfully real. But the twist? That wasn't even the shocking part. Minutes after the leak, a second screenshot appeared, a draft message he had typed, but hadn't sent. A long, emotional paragraph. A confession. A truth he has never told publicly. And one fan, someone who saw it live, screen recorded it before it vanished. The draft said, "I never forgot what happened in Brazil. I wanted to come back stronger for you. I wasn't ready, and I'm still not. I'm sorry I let you believe it was something else." The internet stopped breathing. This wasn't management. This wasn't PR. This wasn't a label-approved statement. This was him, finally admitting the truth Brazil never knew. But before fans could process that revelation, the draft disappeared. Deleted. Gone. Then his close friends list went offline. Then his account went dark again. And that's when the real twist dropped. A fourth insider, one who has never spoken before, leaked a message that detonated the fandom. Benito didn't just write a message. He recorded something. Recorded. As in a video. The insider clarified. It's not a PR video. It's personal. Emotional. He filmed it alone. That turned the fandom upside down. People panicked. People prayed. People begged in comments. Please let him be okay. Is he crying? Is he explaining everything? Is he quitting music? Because that was the fear that suddenly swallowed the world. Was this message not just a confession, but a goodbye? Rumors exploded instantly. He's retiring. He's canceling the whole tour. He's taking a mental health break. He's stepping away from the industry. He's done with pressure. He's done with labels. And then a voice memo leaked, a short one, allegedly from someone on his team. I don't think he can carry the weight anymore. That sentence broke the internet in half. It was no longer about Brazil. It was no longer about Spotify. It was no longer about trauma. Fans realized something far bigger was happening. Bad Bunny wasn't fighting Brazil. He was fighting himself. But this story was not done breaking hearts yet. Because at 3:09 a.m., an encrypted account, one that insiders claim is connected to someone very close to him, posted one final message. He was planning to announce Brazil in a different way. A way nobody expected. A way nobody has ever done before. They stopped him. He didn't. Stopped him. He didn't. Meaning, he never said no to Brazil. Someone else did. That revelation flipped everything again. Fans rallied. Influencers demanded answers. Music journalists began pointing fingers directly at the label and Spotify. Brazil's fan base unified like an army. But the cliffhanger wasn't done yet. Because at 3:33 a.m., a time fans are calling the Miracle Minute, an anonymous user posted what they claimed was the first frame of the unreleased video message. A blurry screenshot. A dimly lit room. A silhouette of him sitting alone. And a caption under the frame. Brazil. I never wanted to hurt you. People cried. People screamed. People fell silent in shock. But the most haunting part? The post vanished 40 seconds later. And the user deleted their account. Which brings us to the cliffhanger that ends everything on a knife's edge. Insiders say the video is finished. It's emotional. It's raw. It's honest. It's nothing like what fans expect. But nobody knows when it will drop. Or if it will drop. Or whether his team will try to stop it again. Or whether he will disappear before releasing it. One insider posted the final message of the night. The next move is his. And when he makes it, the world will never see him the same again. Brazil waits. The industry waits. The fans wait. Because whatever message he recorded is about to change everything. And now the entire world is holding its breath. Because somewhere out there, on a phone, in a draft folder, hidden from the public, Bad Bunny is sitting on the ONE message that could change everything. A message Brazil deserves. A message the industry fears. A message only he can decide to release. But until he does, the question becomes, what do you believe? Do you think he's going to drop the video? Do you think the label will block it again? Do you think he'll finally tell Brazil the truth he's been carrying alone for years? Or do you think this message is something even bigger, a confession, a reveal, maybe even a career-shifting announcement the world isn't ready to hear? Tell me right now in the comments. Don't hold back. Your theories matter, your voice matters, and this fandom has already proven it can shake the entire industry when it speaks together. Should he release the video immediately? Should he wait until he's mentally ready? Should he come to Brazil in his own way, on his own timeline, without corporate interference? And even deeper, do you think Spotify sabotaged the rollout? Do you think his management hid the trauma to protect him, or to protect profits? Who do you think stopped the Brazil announcement? Drop everything you're thinking in the comments, all of it. Let Brazil speak. Let the world speak. Let the truth surface. Make sure you like this video if you want the next chapter, because trust me, when that hidden message leaks, when Benito breaks his silence, when the Real story comes out, I will be right here breaking it down, frame by frame, leak by leak, truth by truth. Share this video with someone who's been following every second of this chaos. And hit subscribe with all notifications on, because the moment that video drops, whether it's today, tomorrow, or in the middle of the night, you do not want to miss what comes next. Brazil is waiting. The world is waiting. And Bad Bunny is about to speak.